All right, let's understand how Swati is working. So we have covered till Chitra last week. Let's see what Swati has to say. So Swati is ruled by Vayu. Okay, Swati or Suati. Su means good things. Ati means having many good things in life. Okay, so this nakshatra is like, you have the very good one is the nickname of the nakshatra, and having a lot of opportunities coming your way. That is what Swati is. So the person is going to get a lot of opportunities in his life, and if if the person makes use of those opportunities, he is going to go up the ladder. Okay. If he's not able to pick up those opportunities, he's wasting his life. So if there are afflictions like Saturn, Mars, always consider the natural malefics as natural malefics. Okay, this is my humble request to you all. The natural malefics are natural malefics. They should be not in strength. Okay, any natural malefic in the chart, forget Raja Yoga Karkas. No, this I have a Libra Lagna, so I have this fifth house and the fourth house Lord as Saturn. So having Saturn in exaltation is a good thing. No, it is not like that. Saturn and Mars have to be bereft of power. They should not be very powerful in the chart. You know why? If they are very powerful, they'll make you work a lot. There are so many difficulties in life. Okay. So, I would not mean to say that Saturn being in exaltation is going to give you only troubles. Saturn will stay in one Rashi for 2.5 years. If that is the case, if it is so simple to just conclude saying, look at Saturn, he's in exaltation, so you have all issues. No, I do not mean to say that. However, Swati is a very Saumya nakshatra. Swati is a very simple nakshatra, soft nakshatra. It wants clean place. Okay, it does not like planets to be placed within itself. First thing is Swati should be clean of planets. That's the best. Second is if you have planets, soft planets are welcome here, like Moon, Jupiter, Venus. These are soft planets. Harsh planets are those like Mars, Sun, Saturn. Krura grahas are not welcome here. It does not mean that you have one, you have problems. No. There are so many exceptions for it. This is at the base level. So you are at the nursery level, you are trying to understand this. Okay. Then we try to build up and we'll understand it further. So do not jump into any conclusion right now. You are only trying to understand the energy of Swati, what is welcome and what is not. Do not necessarily mean that Swati has a Saturn. Don't be of the opinion that Saturn exaltation is very good. Okay, this is what I'm trying to coach you up with. Any malefic like Saturn or Mars, they are designed to be placed in charts, or they are welcome to be placed in charts with low strength than the benefics like Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Moon, etc. have to be high of more of strength, and Saturn and Mars and Rahu, Ketu, Sun, these have to have a lower strength in the chart. The lower the strength of these planets, the malefics are, the better is the way the person is going to behave. Or in this case, in case of Swati, you have exalted Saturn in Swati, assuming Swati is the Lagna, and you have exalted planet. The biggest problem that the person will have is a lot of opportunities will come up his way, but he is always choosing the wrong opportunity. Okay, the person picks up a wrong choice because Swati is a soft planet, and it needs soft decisions, not very tough things. We'll get into it. That's one of those points which I wanted to make. Now, the deity is Vayu. Let's look at the mantra as we do every time. Vayor nishtya vratatihi parastat asiddhir avastat. Vayor nishtya Vratatihi Parastat Asiddhir Avastat. This is the mantra. So the deity is Vayu. Okay, the moment we get to hear Vayu, what we will hear about is the children of Vayu. One of the children is the Bhima, who is in the Mahabharata, the Pancha Pandavas. You have Dharmaraja at the first, who's called as Yudhishthira, and we have the second guy is Bhima. The third is the Arjuna. Okay, so in case of Hanuman, I don't think anybody would need explanation for him. Everybody knows Hanuman. So Hanuman is also the child of the god, wind god, or the Vayu, whom we call in Sanskrit is Vayu. So Vayu is the deity. The symbols are the sprout that we get. I mean, I don't know if we can write this as sprout or something, but it's like an offshoot that comes tearing up the soil. And when you sow seeds, right, you get the first offshoot of a plant, and or we can call it a sapling, maybe a little. When the time passes a little more, a few months of a thing can be called as a sapling, as far as I know. However, the first shoot of a plant is ruled by Swathi. So what happens is the Swathi is the wind, right? When the first shoot of a plant comes, the wind keeps blowing. And no matter how much ever the wind is not powerful, I mean, if the wind is just calm, it's a small breeze, the plant would still be, or the offshoot of the plant would still be thinking, look, there's a lot of wind, right? Because it's so small. Okay, that's how Swati is. However, it would withstand that wind, and the sprout will grow into a tree. Okay, so Swati is slowly growing and becoming independent. What Swati dislikes is trying to be dependent on somebody. He does not like dependency. He would not want to depend on somebody. What does that mean? Let's suppose your father is rich. You're Swati. I mean to say you are Swati in the sense, as I explained just now. If your theme happens to have your Lagna theme happens to have Swati, that means the Lagna dispositor is in Swati, or your Lagna cusp is in Swati. Even if you have a rich father, you would think, look, my father has given me property. I don't deny it. However, I have to earn on my own, and I have to establish myself. Like the sapling is establishing itself as a tree. Okay. So the native is thinking like that. That's one. Second is this word which discriminates or tries to cut off two things. I'll explain that symbol as well when we go a little ahead. And the third one is a priest, so which are simpler. I'm just trying to explain it here itself. So the priest is someone who understands the religious customs, how to do a puja in case of a Hindu person. Even if he does not belong to a Brahmin family, he has a good knowledge of puja, who has a good knowledge of vastu. Don't take me otherwise, or don't take me wrong here. What I'm trying to say is, if you are born in a Brahmin family, especially in South India, like in Tamil Nadu or in Andhra Pradesh, the advantage for the people is the customs are a lot safeguarded here. So people get to understand a lot of things from childhood, the Shastras. No matter how much ever you are disinterested as a Brahmin child, you will still be taught a little bit, and everybody knows at least a small understanding of how a puja is done, or how things are done with respect to the thing, with respect to the religious customs. So even if the native is not of that family, he understands quite a lot of it, and because he has some interest in understanding how God works. Okay, Swati is understanding how God works, how is he designed, what is he going to do for me, and what I have to give back to him. Okay, this is mastered by Swati. Okay, mastered in the sense, he is good amongst whomever he knows. Okay, then you have a male buffalo. A buffalo is a symbol of fertility. So Swati natives usually are blessed with. children. So how do you understand Swati native in a sense? Don't just look at the moon nakshatra. Always you have to look at the fifth lord's themes. If they get connected to Swati, it means that the person is fertile enough. Uh, anyway, fertility is a big chapter. So I have done a few videos on having no children and what leads to having no children, etc. You have to look at it holistically. But Swati generally is a fertile human being. Okay, this is a chara or a chala or a moving kind of a nakshatra. That would mean that this is trying to progress in life. Okay, this is not going to be stationary thing, not a rigid one. This is going to progress. Okay. So do not think chala is good, and if it is fixed, it's not good. It's not like that. The fixed is also good in its own ways. Moving is also good in its own ways. Let's suppose you have an office. It has to be fixed, right? An office cannot be moving. If you have a moving office, what would it mean? It means that today you're working at one place, tomorrow you're working elsewhere. If it interests you, like somebody likes travel, today he works in Kashmir, tomorrow he works in Kanyakumari, he keeps changing flights every day. Some people, it could be a few people's interest, and few people may not like it. So it depends on the choice of the person. Okay. However, Swati would mean the person is constantly on the move. He is changing a lot of places in his life. Swati natives will get to see a lot of places in his life. There will be a few places he would be transferred, or life, I mean, the professional lives of the person would always keep him in the move. Okay. Or he's a person who is constantly on the air travel or maybe on a bike, like a postman. I mean, for a Swati, I think I always refer to a postman. So he can be a small guy, as small as a postman who delivers letters over a cycle. He starts in the morning at about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever time. And all the 8 hours, he's continuously on the run, delivering letters like a postman or a mailman, depending on wherever you're living. I mean, these days we do not get to see the mailman so much. Um, but if you know how a postman delivers letters, then so he could be a postman kind of a guy, or he could be a big CEO of a company who travels to Australia today and maybe America tomorrow. It could be both ways. And what is important in Swati is opportunities will come to you like chaos. It's a opportunity providing nakshatra. Only thing is the person able to utilize the opportunity or not? Okay. Then, as it's a facing or looking towards sideways, it has got just one star. So, what does one star mean? Is anything inside Swati, you would have just one signification of it. So, what would that mean is either in Chitra or in Swati, it would mean that because both would have just one star. If you go back into Chitra or look at the Swati, you have just one star. It means that you know, assuming mm, you have you have your seventh connections to Swati. What would seventh connections mean? Seventh Lord dispositor placed in Swati, seventh Lord cusp in Swati, or seventh Lord himself is in Swati. That's the least thing I would say. The dispositor and the cusp would play the bigger role. If you have either of these two in Swati, it would mean that there is just one spouse for the individual. So what does that mean? That means the person is loyal. That's the positive trait of it. The person is going to have just one relationship in life. That's one positive trait of it. However, for by any chance, if the relationship is lost, if the spouse is dead, or if the spouse is divorced for whatever reasons, okay, then it is very difficult for him to get back into marriage once again. Okay, so there are advantages with having more than one star. There are disadvantages with having more than one star. Both can work. I do not mean to say that if there are 4 stars, it would mean that you would have 4 relationships. If somebody is thinking like that, then that's wrong. Okay. These are up to, it means that you can get up to 4 options. If there is one star, it means that it is limited just to one star. So if one of those relationships or the wife goes off, it becomes extremely difficult for the person to get married again. Okay. And how do we get to know that? You have to be a little patient, okay? You have to be a little patient. I'll discuss everything. What if it is Swati Lagna? You will understand by the end of this lecture. You will understand everything, and you have to be patient. Can't be jumping. Okay. So sorry if I'm a little harsh. Okay. Don't think I'm trying to be harsh or anything. The objective of the whole discussion for discussing one nakshatra for 2 hours is trying to cover up everything. Okay, trying to cover up everything. It will come because I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if you see this or not. I'm the only person who is giving what if it is Swati first house. It means Swati Lagna, right? So you have this signification coming up. You don't have to jump. It will come. You have to listen to the whole lecture. All right. Self-going star, the very good one, the priest who has mastered the nature of God and the religious beliefs. So this man understands a little bit of Vastu, little bit of. So that's what I mean. Somebody asked, "What if it is in the Lagna?" So this man understands little bit of Vastu, little bit of praying, little bit of astrology. Even if he's not born in a Brahmin family, if he is born in a Brahmin family, then he would know little more than the average Brahmin person of that kal of that time is living. Okay. Foundation above, movement in different directions. Foundation below, changing form. So what we understand from this is, see, there are five elements, right? Everybody knows that. Wind is one of them. And wind is the only thing which does not have a direction. It means wind can flow from any direction to any direction. Every time it keeps changing directions. Wind does not have a direction, right? Today you sit here, there may be wind from one direction. You sit at the same place the next day, or maybe 1 hour later, the wind may be coming from another direction. So wind is directionless, wind is formless, wind is not visible, right? Wind is the only thing which is not visible. Every other element is visible to you. There is water, it's visible to you. There is earth, it's visible to you. There is fire, visible to you. Okay. There is Prithvi, Apas, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha. Vayu is not visible. Akasha is also not visible. However, Akasha is still visible to an extent. Okay? Akasha means the sky. The only thing not visible is the wind because you cannot see wind. However, does it mean that wind does not exist? No, wind exists. And why we are all, there here breathing, and even if you can live, any person can live without drinking water, but even for more than a minute, if you try to not breathe, the person is going to die, right? So wind or the vayu or the oxygen is the most important thing. The prana vayu, we call it, is the most important thing for any person on this earth. So he's such powerful person who is going to help everyone in a way wherein everyone needs wind or everybody needs Swati. Without Swati, nothing can work in the organization. I'll tell you how it is. Okay, Shakti is Pradvamsha Shakti. So, see, if you get to see cyclone alerts, right? Weather alerts keep coming. So if you are a part of South India or a place where there is sea, what people would be mostly afraid of along the sea coast is if there is a weather update coming which shows up that there is a cyclone, uh, the people are not afraid of uh, the amount of rainfall or the quantity of rainfall that is going to fall at that place. What they would be mostly worried is when the landslide happens, the cyclone landslide happens, how much is the speed of the wind that is going to touch? If it is 100 km, people will be a little worried, not so bothered. Okay, 100 kmph is okay to manage. I'm very bad at miles per hour. If somebody needs it in miles per hour, they have to convert it by themselves. Anyway, it's not about the number, just an understanding of how big the wind is or how forceful the wind is, the magnitude of the wind. So if it is 200 kmph, okay, people will be definitely worried. Anything over 150, The people are 100% worried. You know why? Maybe just 10 millimeters of water of rainfall, but if the wind speed is so high, it is going to uproot all the trees. The electric poles are going to be off. There will be a power outage. There will be more havoc. There will be more devastation. There will be more destruction if the wind speeds are very high. Although wind is not visible, it can uproot everything, throw it away, and create all chaos. So such powerful is the wind. Okay. So let's suppose you want to light up a lamp or a fire has to be lit up. It needs wind. Without atmosphere, the fire cannot be lit up. So all the elements would need wind, but wind would not need anyone. That is what is the independence I am talking about. Such is the independence of Swati. So you have Lagna cusp in Swati. Congratulations to you. Everybody is dependent on you, but you are not dependent on anyone. Or if you are dependent at the moment, the first thing you would want is, I want to get rid of this dependence. I have to stand up on my own feet. So this comes very early in life. Even if, let's suppose you are a man, you get dowry. Okay, it's pretty common in India to get dowry. Maybe it's going off pretty fast, but whoever gets dowry, if a Swati guy gets a dowry, okay, he's not bothered about it. Okay, my father-in-law gave dowry just for his daughter. It's not mine. Let me go onto the road and earn something for myself, and I'll feed my family. It's not his daughter anymore. It's my wife. So I'll feed her. I'll ensure that all my children grow up with my money, not the money that came in the dowry. That would be there as a backup, but I would not eat it away or I would not spend it away. This is what Swati is. If that is the case, you are a Swati. If you're not, it means that you need a correction. You're not Swati. Okay, this is the first thing that the person will have. Independence. He does not like to be directed by someone. If you tell me, I'm a Swati, okay, I have my cusp in Swati, my Lagna cusp falls in Swati. If you tell me what has to be taught, I'll be the most arrogant guy. I would not teach anything. Okay. So like somebody asked just now, why I got a little fried up is because nobody should direct me or tell me what has to be taught, and because I know that this is the question that will come up. So I would be obviously prepared for it. All right. So you have, and please don't send messages. I'm not looking at messages. Okay. You have a question, open up the mic and ask. I'm not looking at messages. Fine. Next is mm, to have the freedom to move as I wish in all the worlds. So Swati would need freedom. Swati dislikes anybody controlling him. He dislikes directions. He he may ask you, okay, what is the work? Tell me. Tell me what is the work. So you say, okay, this is the job. That's it. You do not have to tell him how it has to be done. Swati dislikes it completely. If somebody tries to detail him up, saying, look, you go from here, then you go there, and then ask this fellow, this is the line, you have to exactly ask the same thing, and then you have to get back and come back and tell me what is the result. Then he would say, why don't you do it yourself? Swati would be irritated. He wouldn't like it. Instead, Swati, if you just tell him this is the job, he'll figure it out how to do, and he would do it the best way possible. And he would go an extra mile as well, do a little more, and then tell you, look, this is how it has to be done. Okay. Now change your system and try to deploy this one so that you would get one more extra mile at the same cost or maybe a lower cost. If Swati is an employee or a worker or anyone that you have deployed into a work. I'll tell you with examples, okay? The simplest example I can give in this context of going an extra mile is Rama. Rama, when Sita was missing and Rama did not know what to do, Hanuman is the person who said, "Look, Rama, don't be worried. I will fly up to the Lanka, okay, and I'll find out if Sita is there. If there is Sita, I will ensure that you both would meet. Don't worry. Then he went up there. He saw Sita. He asked Sita to climb up on him so that he can get her back to Rama. Sita denied. Then what did Hanuman do? He did not just come away. What did he do? He burnt up all the Lanka. Okay. So this guy is trying to go an extra mile and going to deliver you a little more than what is expected by the employer. Okay. Employer Swati guy, we are always careful about Swati. Okay. The problem is sometimes it's not required. He would talk a little more and come. Maybe you have to manage or adjust for the more talking that Swati did in that place. Like Hanuman did more, and people were a little worried. Okay. I mean, it would be both ways. It would be plus and it would be minus both. So the person is going to go a little extra mile and talk a little more than what is required, or do a little more work, which is sometimes unnecessary, because there are few things. Let's suppose there is an expectation of a job. Okay, this is what you have to do, and if Swati is deployed in it, uh, I mean, not every time, doing more than what is expected is welcome. Sometimes you are expected to do what is expected. So if you're doing an extra mile, it is sometimes a violation. In such places, if Swati is deployed, then there will be a problem for the management. Hope I'm making some sense. Okay, now you have the mantra. Let's go to the mantra first, and then we'll look into the stories. You have Vayor Nishtya Vratatihi Parastat Asiddhir Avastat. This is written in Telugu here. However, you have the mantra up here in English. So you all can read here Vayor Nishtya Vratatihi Parastat Asiddhir Avastat. This is the mantra from where we are trying to get some sense of what would Swati do. Swati is Vayu, the wind. Vayor would mean Vayu, the wind. Nishtya, right? Nishtya is Nishya would mean somebody who is living a way, okay? Somebody who is behaving differently, somebody who is not ordinary, okay? Somebody who has not a normal quality. He has a different quality of uh, of living, or he has a different quality of understanding. He has a different quality of many things. Swati is not a general person. Swati is a little different. Okay, Swati is strange because the previous nakshatra is Chitra, so Swati gets the quality of Chitra clearly. Because the previous nakshatra is Chitra, Swati becomes very Vichitra. Okay, so this person is strange. Uh, this person maybe, like, if you get to see him, if you see Hanuman, okay, nobody would think Hanuman is so capable. I mean, had we got no Ramayana, and it's just the first time if somebody gets to see a monkey and he does not understand what Ramayana is, I'm not trying to degrade Hanuman to be a monkey or anything. I know Hanuman is not a monkey. Hanuman is a different cult. I understand all that. Okay, don't make unnecessary comments on this. If some kind of a person, you did not know Ramayana and Hanuman stood in front of you, what you would think is, this is a strange creature. You would never expect that Hanuman can go so long. Somebody can fly like an aeroplane onto the other side at so high speed and come back again at such high speed. Okay, you will not get to estimate that. This is what Swati is. So for the looks, the persons are different, and what they're capable of is entirely different. This is what is a very good Swati. It means that the person has enormous amount of power, enormous amount of knowledge capped inside him, and he's trying to make use of it very well. And nobody knows where from this has come and how this has come. Okay, that is Swati. Okay, then you have, okay, the most powerful star, Swati, is determined. Swati is a very determined person. He is going to deliver what he is going to deliver. You cannot ask him to deliver something differently. He will deliver it the way he wants it to be delivered. That is it. He's not going to change. He's a very rigid man and determined. And Nishya would also mean the neck. Okay, the neck. The neck portion is called as nishtya in Sanskrit. Okay, the neck would mean, why is the neck essential for a person? Let us suppose you have a human. A human has a neck. Why does the neck? Why is the neck important? Neck actually tries to give you the support for the head, right? Unless there is a neck in place, the head will not be in place, or the head cannot move onto the sides, right? You cannot move your head unless you have a neck, because the torso and the head are united with the neck. So neck does not belong to the torso. The neck does not belong to the torso nor to the head. It is just a connecting thing. So Swati is like that. Swati does not belong to the masses. Swati does not belong to the head of the department or head of the organization. Swati is like a bridge between these two. He would sometimes fall into the place of the ordinary people. Sometimes he would try to direct the head himself or support the head himself. Hope you're trying to understand what I'm saying. So Swati is someone who is trying to support the head. Or in other words, if you look at Hanuman, Rama became a head, right? Rama is the hero of the story of Ramayana. Rama's greatness came into existence because of Hanuman. Assume if Hanuman was not there, Sita could not have been found, and the Sita could not have been united back with Rama, right? Sita, it becomes impossible for the Sita Anveshana, right? You cannot get to see where Sita was unless Hanuman is there. So Hanuman has supported the head of that particular era. Similarly, Bhima is the person who has killed Duryodhana. Duryodhana was not killed by Arjuna. Arjuna has killed everyone, but handed over the responsibility of killing of Duryodhana to Bhima. Sorry, Bhima is the person who has killed Duryodhana. So unless Duryodhana was killed by Bhima, Yudhishthira could not have got the kingdom for him. So although Yudhishthira is the king, he was supported by Bhima till the last man. The Duryodhana was not died. The Rajya or the kingdom would have been with Duryodhana himself. So till the time it was there, it was Duryodhana's. The moment Bhima killed Duryodhana, it became the kingdom of Yudhishthira. So what is Swati all about? Swati is all about a person who is the number two in the company. Okay, he is either a vice president or an assistant to a departmental head, without which the whole department cannot perform. But this man is not in the limelight for two reasons. One is he does not like limelight. He does not want to show up into all the people. He does not want to be shown everywhere, nowhere, because Vayu is wind, right? Vayu is always hidden. If a fire is lit up, would anybody talk about wind? See, wind is the person who is actually trying to help the fire. No, right? They would never actually appreciate wind. They will only appreciate the fire, which is going to give you the light and heat. But unless there is wind or the oxygen for the fire cannot perform. But people would always praise the fire. Or in case of rain or the cyclone, which we talked about, people would talk great about the rain that came. Great in the sense that even if you rate the havoc as the great thing, so unless the wind was there, which really created the havoc, the destruction, but the name would come to the cyclone, which is predominantly water. People would measure cyclone in the water, average rainfall that came up. Nobody would talk much about the wind, right? So this is a person who is trying to not be in the limelight. For one is disinterest for limelight. Second is not getting a chance to occupy the first position. Okay, there can be both the reasons. Second is Vratatihi. If you see a sapling or if you just get to see a sprout that came out, okay, what would it do? It has abundance of resources in the soil. it has enough water, it has enough, because the soil contains everything. Because if you see in the forest, is there anybody who is watering the plants? No one, right? But the tree is still growing. Okay. So the tree is somehow going to find a way and it would keep growing. No matter if somebody is watering it or not, no matter if it gets, I mean, somebody supplies him special food or not, the tree is going to survive somehow and slowly grows up. And if you get to see the tree every day, you will not even know when this tree has got so big. Assuming a tree grows in about 5 years, I don't know how much time it would take for a tree to grow. I mean, it would anyway depend on the type of tree. But assuming you kept seeing one tree or one sapling every day for 10 years, you would not even know when it has grown. If you got to see a tree today and then met him after 10 years, yes, you would see that as a tree. Oh, this was a sapling when I was looking at it 10 years ago. Today, it's a very grown up tree, large tree, which has got a big trunk, right? That happens with Swati. What does this mean? The person is making progress every day. The person is trying to learn something, trying to beat the conditions that it has got, because the tree is always trying to the tree is always trying to grow despite hostile conditions for it. Not every time you have good conditions. Tree may have bad conditions as well. Sometimes there is more rainfall, sometimes there is no water, sometimes there is no nutrients in the soil, sometimes there is everything is good. So all this happens to the tree. Despite all those odds, the tree is actually growing. This is what Swati is. Swati gets a lot of odds in his life, but it's still trying to grow despite all the odds. Okay, what is available? Let's try to build based on what is available. Let's not worry about what is not there. That is Swati. Because he's an independent decision maker. He's going to make a decision for himself and he would keep moving. Okay. Vayu is a perfectionist. Asiddhi would be Siddhi is the perfection. Okay. Asiddhi is imperfection. Vayu is a perfectionist. He is trying to control everything. He's trying to control too many things and make everything to perfection. However, he is going to settle for a little less. This is what asiddhi would mean. Okay. That means at the start of something, the person is trying to be trying to do lot of things in perfection. If you would see my first few classes, I'm arranging too many things. And why I'm trying to explain from my side is because I am too much of Swati. I've got my Lagna in Swati. I've got a Jupiter in Swati in Lagna itself. So I use Swati a lot, and I think I have been blessed with so many things. I've got so many opportunities in life. So I think I'm a very good Swati myself. So that's why I'm saying when I start, I try to achieve a lot of perfectionism in it. And as the time progresses, I get to have some disinterest. You know why? Because the team is not like that. I mean, they're not up to speed with me. They don't sometimes catch a lot of things, and I certainly most of the times I lose interest after some point in time, because after having taught a few lessons, a lot of people cannot recall what is taught despite being despite being taught very detailedly. Lot of the times people can't recall what is taught and why it is happening, because they are just focused on what their horoscope is. If people are focused just on their horoscope, I would recommend go to the consultation premium thing. I just charge 3,000 rupees. I'll give you a very detailed reading. The few participants in this class have also taken my readings and they're pretty good. If that is the case, that keeps you going, wherein you do not want to really understand astrology, I would say it's a slow process. It's not going to come overnight or in 4 months or 3 months. No, it's not going to come. If somebody promises you in 3 months I'll make you an astrologer, it means that he's not teaching you anything. It will take about 4 to 5 years with constantly at least looking at one chart in a day, at least one chart in a day. 4 to 5 years, you will learn little of basics. Maybe you will provide 1, 2, or 3 lines of predictions. So what is astrology means? You have to make prediction. It's not that people are saying, look, You have seventh lord in the fifth house. Good. You have eighth lord in the 12th house. Good. 12th lord in the ninth house. Bad. This, this is what people are predicting. If somebody comes up to you and asks you, what is that I have to do? You are saying fifth lord in seventh house, seventh lord in eighth house. How the person is going to understand? He'll not understand anything. He is going to ask you, tell me what is the prediction. Nobody is doing it. People are saying, अरे जो सप्तम का आदमी है ये वहाँ है, ये ग्रह जो है यहाँ है, अरे सारे ग्रह वही हैं यार, जहाँ जहाँ भी है वही है। मेरे को प्रिडिक्शन बताओ क्या है, कोई बताएगा नहीं। और इतना लंबा चौड़ा लिखते हैं कुछ लोग, आजकल कोरा है या फिर अदर क्या बोलते हैं ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स है, इतने लंबे चीज लिखते हैं, एक प्रिडिक्शन उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है। आई गेट टू रीड लाइक 50 lines 60 lines people write. I don't know how people are, maybe they are using artificial intelligence or something. Otherwise, it's difficult to type such huge things every day. I mean, you are answering five, six questions, and you have built up like 100 sentences for a person. And at the end, I mean, I don't know if the person even understood what you actually wrote, because the fifth lord is here, seventh lord is there, and eighth lord is here. Why I'm bothered about all that? What is the prediction? What is the person interested in? You're not giving prediction, but you're trying to give ये वहाँ है, वो यहाँ है, वो यहाँ है। अरे सारे ग्रह एक ही घर में है, मैं मान लूंगा, मेरे को बताओ प्रोडिक्शन क्या है। ठीक है, so try to try to learn prediction. I mean, don't take my words wrong, okay? Sometimes I go a little overboard, so don't take any of my comments wrongly. These are all important, and all these mistakes I have done in my life. For the first 5 years, I could not figure out how to do prediction. I was only doing this. ये यहाँ पे है तो अच्छा है, वो वहां पे है बुरा है, ये यहाँ पे है अच्छा है, उससे क्या है, क्या अच्छा है क्या बुरा है, वो बताओ यार। वो कोई बताएगा नहीं। सात सेवेंथ लॉर्ड 12th हाउस, बुरा है, क्या बुरा है, क्या क्या किस चीज में बुरा है बताओ। पत्नी बना बात नहीं सुनती या पत्नी भाग जाएगी, क्या है वो, बताओ। That nobody would say, nobody will dare to say, because they don't even know what is it. And not all seventh lords in the 12th house are bad, and not all seventh lords in the fifth house are good. This is what I'm trying to emphasize every time, okay? And never take any of my sentences wrongly. If I say anything, it is only for the betterment of the people who are listening to my class. So बख्श दो, गाली मत दो. All right. So Vayu. Vayu is going to provide relief to everyone without any discrimination. So Vayu is the only person who is not going to discriminate people. Okay, Swathi, okay, means not discriminating people based on anything. Because a lot of people would think, I mean, don't take me wrong, whatever I'm quoting, okay? I'm quoting all of them in good sense. So try to take this all in good sense. There are some people, maybe not today, most of the people go back 50 years ago. Astrology cannot be taught to other than Brahmins, right? This was how the customs were. But what happened to astrology in the past 50, 60 years? Nothing. Nothing moved. Whoever were knowledgeable, they did not teach to the people who could be knowledgeable. I mean, they only taught maybe 1%, 2% here and there, and everything vanished. Today, astrology is a very good business. People set up shops, and they are trying to charge you 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs for problems, and people blindly pay money because they are in problems. And despite doing everything, उपाय करने के बाद भी कुछ नहीं, the problem remains. You ask 95% of the people who ever went up to an astrologer, everybody would say ये ग्रह जो है ना यहाँ पे है, वो ग्रह जो है ना वहां पे है, इसीलिए आपको ये आया है। अरे यार, ये तो मैं बताया तुमको। I've told you already that look, I came for this problem, so you know it. Who is that person who is going to predict you and tell you that look, this is the problem that is going to come up? He is an astrologer. If somebody is not making a prediction and just giving you a remedy, he's just a useless fellow. Don't even go to such people. Sorry for a harsh language, but an astrologer has to predict. If he's not predicting, it means that he knows nothing. एंड फॉर प्रिडिक्शन आपको साधना चाहिए, आपको हर दिन की साधना चाहिए, एक दिन में आएगा नहीं. You have to work with horoscopes, and only to a certain extent it can be taught, not more than that. So Vayu spreads everywhere, no discrimination. Vayu gets a gap, it gets there. So if there is nothing, it means that there is wind inside it, right? You have an empty glass, it means that there is wind in the glass. So, so wind we don't consider at all. So if an empty glass would mean there is a wind inside it, and wind would not mind because he's invisible. Nobody cares about him. Wind wouldn't mind. It's fine. That's how I am. Okay. So you get to see a funny thing with fire. Okay, with wind. Okay. What happens when there is a matchstick lit up? Okay. If the wind is there, it is going to light, and if there is more wind, it is put off. Right. So wind is the person who is going to help the fire and also fight against it. Both. Right? So wind has no standard enemies, no standard friends. Swathi, the biggest problem is his friends are his foes, his foes are his friends. Swathi would keep changing friends, would keep changing foes. Nobody is his friend, nobody is his enemy. He treats everybody alike. Okay, this is the biggest trait of Swathi. This is both the positive and both a negative, both positive and negative. So sometimes people would think, यार इस पे भरोसा नहीं कर सकते हैं. Okay, you cannot trust this person because sometimes he would treat me like a friend, sometimes he would treat me like a foe. He's talking it from his angle. From a Swati's angle, he would say, why am I discriminating that he's my enemy, he's a foe, he's my friend, he's my foe, and all that stuff? Why? So he has a problem, he'll come up to me and ask, I'm going to help him if I can do. If he doesn't have a problem, then he's not going to come up to me. What is friendship and enmity here? I'm not bothered about the friendship and the enmity. He has a problem. He came up to me. It's my it's my thing to help him. I have to help him. Or if I think I do not want to help him, I'll tell him, I know I cannot help you. Go. It's my wish. So I'll keep that. I'm an independent man. Why would you control me saying, look, you are my friend, so don't help that fellow who is a friend of, who is an enemy of me. So we both are friends, we both are enemies. So that enemy of mine will also become an enemy of you. These things won't work with Swati. He dislikes such people. Why I should treat your enemy like my enemy? No, I cannot. You are thinking like, I'm a very good thick friend of you, but I am not thinking you like that. You're one of the people I know. That's all. So there are no standard friends. There are no problem with Swati is there is nothing called standard there. Swati keeps changing. He's not stuck to a point. So it lights up fire. It puts off fire. Both. So it needs fire needs wind. Fire goes off by wind. Okay. I think I've explained this. Then is education. These people are, अगर कोई सिखाएगा पढ़ाएगा, तो these people are very studious. So somebody is teaching something important, valuable, very studious people, no matter how much ever difficult it is for them based on their schedule, even if it is tight, they would still want to learn. That is Swati. Swati will learn if it tries to get a chance of learning. Learning is the most important thing Swati would focus on because Swati thinks education could be anything. It could be a Jyotisha, it could be the academic education. I'm not saying Swati would be a topper in the class. Not necessarily, okay? If Swati thinks learning this is useless, he would immediately stop learning that no matter even if he gets just like 36 marks for every 100, that's the pass mark, right? Even if he gets that, he would be happy for it because look, this is not making sense. I don't think this subject is any useful. I would better spend on some subject which is useful for me in making money because Swati is very interested in making money. Okay, Swati is not a saint. Swati is also interested in making money, but there are a few conditions attached to it. He makes it the way he wants because he knows I need so much, so I'll earn only this much. I don't need more than that. I'm fine. Okay, don't push me too much. I'm independent. I'll make my decision. This is how Swati is. Okay, then. Memory. Swati, whenever Swati is there, look at Hanuman. Okay, if you read Ramayana or if you watch a movie of whole Ramayana, okay, let's assume 3 hours of movie is being played Ramayana. When is Hanuman going to come? After 1 hour of the movie. Till the time you do not even know where Hanuman is. Or maybe at least 40 minutes of the movie has lapsed. After that, you will get to see Hanuman. So these people are very silent in the first 25 to 30 or 40 years. And after that, they rise up and excel in life. Okay. Late bloomers, you can say. Or they have a problem with the memory because, uh, they learn so many things and they're confused with the memory that they have. And, sometimes it's like Hanuman has been cursed so that whatever powers he had were all put off till the time he meets Rama, because Hanuman was trying to catch hold of the sun and he tried to eat it. Hanuman was so powerful in his childhood, so the sages cursed him, saying when the need comes, automatically your boss is going to remind you of your powers. Till the time you would be just like a normal individual, just a simple human. Okay, that's how you are, and you will not have any additional powers. So this can be interpreted in two ways. One is having too much of knowledge and always being confused. Second is the person is a late bloomer. He is going to understand what the path of his life, the way he has to walk in the life only after maybe 30, 35, 40 in a later age. Okay. I have not included the ages of or the activation ages of the nakshatras in this level. In the next level, we will review all the nakshatras. We will also talk about ages because I'm not very convinced with all the ages a lot of people are teaching. So I'm making my own ages, and one day I'll definitely teach. So because there are generalized ages being mentioned, like one particular nakshatra activates at this age. Sometimes I'm not seeing it. It has to universally be applied. So it's not sometimes working. I'm not very convinced with that. So I'll have to figure out the ages for myself, which I'll do eventually. So then you have the dedication. So these people are extremely dedicated to their boss, even if their boss is not capable of handling, or even if the boss is not as knowledgeable as these people are. Okay. So still, even then, they are going to respect their bosses. It means that it does not mean that they don't have any fights with bosses, etc. Swati, the standard thing is there is no constant enemy, there is no constant friend. Swati keeps making friends, keeps making enemies. The same people turn into enemies, the same people turn into friends. Because he's a very unbiased man. And general public would expect that if you are my friend, all my friends are your friends, all my enemies are your enemies. Swati will not go by this rule. He does not understand this. And why I should have enmity with anyone? That is the basic question Swati has. Because of that, there are a lot of problems for Swati. Okay. So Swati is capable of anything. Swati can get back something which has died as well. Let us suppose there is a CEO who has set up a factory, and somehow the factory is gone into debts. It went into losses, and you get to see this in a lot of movies. Some guy walks up to the CEO and tells him, "Look, you give me an opportunity, give me a job. I'm going to get back all your sick unit into a profit-making unit." And the CEO would agree. And after 10 months or maybe 1 year, the sick unit is making profits. So such capable is Swati. So I'm talking this from the point of Sanjeevani. So some dead unit or a sick unit went back into profits because of Swati's intelligence or Swati's hard work or Swati's education or Swati's any of the traits that Swati may have. Okay. Uh, okay. So Swati is constantly running. Mostly Swati has a job which involves travel. Or if he is at a desk job, it means that there are constant transfers. Okay, most of the times. Or even if he sits at one, even if he's placed in one organization, he may have to move maybe one floor. There are 5 floors of office, and he keeps moving in the office itself to different desks. Maybe he could be an office boy as well who is serving a tea. Even that is the Swati. Swati is trying to help everyone. So tea, let us suppose if you're an office boy, tea is served to everyone, right? You cannot deny tea or coffee to someone in the office. Swati is like that. Bhima. So the Swati people are strong. It does not always mean that physical strength is the thing. Swati people are strong in their area or the arena that they are working in. If Swati knows something, it means that they know it very well. Otherwise, they do not know anything about it. Okay, such as Swati. Swati always constantly learns the same subject that they know. Swati is interested maybe in multiple subjects, yes, for sure, because Hanuman has learned a lot of subjects, so is Bhima. But whatever subject they know it very well. Otherwise, they may not know even a single 1% of knowledge of other subject which anybody else talks about. So if Swati says, look, I know this, it means that they know it very well. All right. So now you have bravery. So this is a very courageous nakshatra. Then you have loyalty. Then you have temper. As I said, these people are sometimes losing temper and sometimes very temperamented, sometimes very calm and sometimes very intense. You don't know when Swati is going to get angry and at what point in time Swati gets angry, nobody can predict. And very eccentric. For simple things, they may be angry. For very big things, they may not be angry at all. So they may be moody, or I don't know how to define it, but it's not even driven by mood as well, because Swati predominantly is ruled by Venus. The Libra is ruled by Venus, which also rules water. But the kind of water Venus rules is different from the water that Moon rules. So Moon rules the mood swings, whereas Venus does not rule the mood swing. Venus rules something else. I don't know what is tangible of it, but Swati gets angry for simple things and may not be very angry for big things. Big mistakes are, Swati may be merciful of them, but even sometimes small mistakes, the other person may get a bigger punishment. This is something little eccentric about Swati. Okay. Then you have power tussles. Okay. Because this man Bhima was involved in a lot of power tussles. He kept on killing equally powerful people as Bhima. Swati is not going to is not going to fight with simple people. Swati is always fighting with the big people or people who are ahead of him. Like, when Hanuman went to Lanka, he ensured that he met. Give me a second, please. Okay. So one is temperament. It can be good as well sometimes. Sometimes the person is maintaining a very low temper, where it has to be. There is a lot of hyper people are running around. Let us suppose everybody is hyperly talking. Then Swati comes up and says, "Why are you all hyper? Relax and tell me what happened." And Swati solves the problem in a jiffy. Okay. So that's how Swati is. And everybody is calm. Swati suddenly comes up and shouts at everyone and says, "What are you doing? Why are you all guys sitting doing nothing? Why are you chit chatting?" So it can be both ways. And Swati is very unpredictable. So The final thing is Bhima married a tribal lady. In some places where some people say Hanuman as well is married to two women, it's not exclusively meant at all the places, but maybe mentioned in a few places where Hanuman also got married. So we'll not talk about Hanuman much here, but for sure we all know that this man Bhima has got married to a tribal lady called Hidimba. So the person Swathi is going to get married to is of completely a different culture. Does not mean that the religion or the caste is different. I do not mean it. What I would mean is assuming the dinacharya, we call it, right? Every day, let us suppose the Swathi gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Swati's wife usually sleeps at 1 o'clock and gets up at 7:30 or 8 in the morning. So somebody is an early riser, exactly opposite to it is the wife. If Swati sleeps late at night and gets up late, then the wife is up early. Okay. They are not exactly following the same routine as each other. Okay. This is one more trait of Swati. Okay. Think. Okay. I need to explain this one. So everybody knows that in the first pada uh, of Swati, you would get to see sun's debilitation, and also the final pada of Swati, the fourth pada of Swati, you will get to see Saturn's exaltation. Both would happen in Swati. Why would this happen? Is because Sun is a person who is the royal planet. First thing, Sun, Saturn is the son of Sun. Everybody knows this. Saturn and Sun are enemies; they don't like each other. This everybody knows. Now, Sun is a king. What would a king want? His son has to be the next king. My son, mera putra jo hoga, he has to become the next king. And Saturn is completely against it. Saturn would say, look, anybody who's capable of a position, like the democracy, right? In the democracy, what happens? There is voting, and Saturn would say, democracy is the best because all the people can choose the head for themselves. Why there has to be a monarch? Best part is have democracy so that we have voting, and the more number of votes a person gets, he becomes the king. And Sun is against it. You know why? Because Sun says it has to be through the birth of the person. Because he's a traditional, conventional person. Sun follows conventions. I would always, travel at a constant speed. I will always rise up in the east. I will always set in the west. This is what is Sun. Saturn is not like that. Saturn goes into retrogressions. Saturn walks very slowly. Saturn is not concerned about anyone. He's the last outermost planet. Okay, that is one. Second is you look at Sun. Sun gets directional strength, right, in Capricorn, which is an Earth sign. Earth is material, right? Earth means material. So Sun needs a base from where things operate. And Saturn gets exalted in Swati because Swati is Vayu, air. There is no material here. Vayu is just comprised of gases. It's just the gas. And there is no foundation for Sun here in Swati so that it can stand on and from there it can deliver its result. Sun needs a base. Without base, Sun cannot work. Whereas Saturn is a flexible man. He wouldn't need a base or anything. ये जगह मिला ठीक है यहाँ से कर लेंगे. Sun is not like that. He would need an office. He would want to sit at a place and then operate it from there. Do it conventionally. Whatever is traditionally being followed, let us do only that. Saturn is not like that. Saturn is a person who would say break all conventions, okay, and do something out of the way. Why it has to be done only the other way? I will do it this way. I'll do it exactly the opposite way of how it has to be done. And he would do it better in Swati. Okay. All right. I think this is what it is. You can read all of this. All right, let's go into traits. So Swati is very skillful, powerful, completely independent, does not like to be dependent on someone. If he is depending on someone, he actually dislikes it very much. So wants to get rid of that dependence. Dependence in the sense, first thing is financial dependence. So if he has to borrow money from someone, or if he has to take money from someone for, let's suppose Swati does not have money, right? When he's struggling on financial side, Swati is very ashamed of, taking money from someone to give it back again to him. It becomes very difficult for him. But even if he's forced to do so, Swati returns back money very, very, very fast because he's going to get a job as soon as possible and tries to give him the money back. Swati likes travel, mostly air travel. As far as possible, Swati wants to travel very fast. Okay. But Swati ends up actually traveling slow because Swati wants to cover up each and everything and have the joy of the travel. So he ultimately what happens is he would end up in the asiddhi, like I said. Asiddhi is not being the perfectionist. Okay, because sometimes some compromises have to be made and eventually they will be made. Okay. And always Swati is the number two in an organization or at the home. He is not the leader. He does like to be a leader. He would say, why are you asking? Go and do. Why are you asking? If you know how it has to be done, then why are you seeking my permission? Don't even ask me. I dislike seeking permissions. Even from me, don't ask me. Even if I'm the head, look, you are given your area. I'm the head of the department. Okay. But you are given your area and you should be responsible for it. Don't keep coming back to me and asking, sir, I know this. Can I do this? No, don't do that. Do the job, take the credit for yourself, and you tell me I got trained from Swati. That is what Swati would expect. Swati would expect his name to be taken, his what is that? Because wind, right? Wind wants to spread everywhere. The knowledge of mind should spread everywhere. This is what Swati would think. Okay. Uh, However, Swati is a little, unfortunate is what we may have to say. Sometimes, even for the smallest things, Swati has to run a lot. Okay. So, Swati, when you get to see the people of Swati, as I said, the outwardly look and the inwardly understanding of, let's suppose you get to see me anywhere. Okay. I mostly travel. If you get to see me in the airport or anywhere, if you get to see me, then you would never think that I'm so and so. Okay. Because I wear the most modern wear of today, and maybe I have a little kumkum on my forehead. With that, it's difficult to identify who I am, and I know Jyotish. Nobody would even know about it unless I talk to or I make up myself and say, look, I know Jyotish, I teach Jyotish and stuff like that. So these people are difficult to identify from their outwardly appearance that they know some subject. Otherwise, they look like even less than the ordinary people. Okay. And they keep changing their friends and they keep changing their enemies, and they're confused. They keep looking for perfection initially, and later on they compromise on everything. They may sometimes come to a position even to say that, look, it's all fine, even if nothing is fine. Okay. I talked about all this already. Coral and the sword I have not talked about. So, so Swati actually cuts across the Maya and the truth. Swati wants to be clear. Look, why are we doing this? Is the first question Swati asks anyone. If the why is answered, then obviously everything will be answered, is what Swati believes. Okay. So it keeps separating. Are you doing this with clarity or not? Are you clear? Why are you doing this? Yes. Then go ahead and do. This is what Swati means. So it's like a sword. If you do not know why you're doing it, please don't do. Okay. Then is coral. You have coral as a representation of um, protection, right? So Swati protects all the people. There is no discrimination for Swati. Even if an enemy walks up to him and says, "Look, please help me out," Swati will be the first person to help him. Okay. All right. So then you have cusps and connections to the first house. The native is powerful. He would want to be independent. Look, I have not covered a lot of points here. There may be a lot of points that may I might have missed. So don't take these as hard and fast and just try to apply them blindly. You have to read all of the lecture, make points for yourself, and then you have to look at the horoscope. And most of the times, as I keep saying, Yogamaya keeps picking up and says, "Look, you have mastered these techniques, so I will put across a horoscope, which where in which you have nothing works, and you keep getting difficult charts." And I would encourage keep looking at charts. At one point in time, Yogamaya gives up and says, "Okay, you are the winner. Please keep going." Okay, so once you cross all the levels of the video game, right? So you will be awarded. The same is with Yoga Maya. It keeps testing you. So constant power tussles and continuously confused to what to do, what to pick up. If Swati is in the Lagna, if you ask him, "Look, there are 10 hotels or 10 restaurants where we can go to this afternoon. Can you please pick which restaurant we have to go?" Swati would say, "Look, don't ask me. What are the other people saying? Go by that. I cannot pick up. I give up." Because he gets into it so much and he'll be confused at the end. Okay. So you can't expect such things from Swati. Okay. Knowledge of Shastras, as I said, knowledge of pujas, knowledge of Shastras, knowledge of performance, how to make money, how to impress people, how to learn something, what is useful in life and what is not useful in life, which subject has to be learned till what extent, and how far this has to be applied. All that Swati is very good at. Okay. Constant power tussles, fluctuating relationships with business partners and also with the life partner. Okay. Strange problems in life. Sometimes the relationship with partner is very good, sometimes it is very bad. They keep changing. Okay. I'll stop here.